You done stepped in some real shit with Rob Prophet. Real news raw. You already know what time it is, man. R.I.P. Bushwick Bill. I gotta say it again. R.I.P. Bushwick Bill. Bushwick Bill was one of the most polarizing, colorful characters in the 80s, late 80s, going into the early 90s. The Ghetto Boys, with Your Mom's Playing Tricks on Me, Bushwick Bill, even though the verse was written by Scarface, Bushwick Bill stole the show with This Year Halloween Fell on a Weekend. Me and Ghetto Boys went trick-or-treating, robbing little kids for bags. Come on, man. So we speeded up the pace, took a look back, and he was right before our face. We was in for a squabble, no doubt, singing with me. Then I swung and knocked the nigga out. He was going down, we figured, but this wasn't no ordinary nigga. He stood about 6 or 7 feet, and that's the creep I be seeing in my sleep. I want to keep going. I want to keep going. But yo, this a blog. This a blog, man. Rest in peace, Bushwick Bill. Bushwick terrorized the rap industry with hardcore lyrics. He terrorized the industry with his comedic side, along with a gangster side put together. Coming from a dwarf is different. Nobody's seen that before. Nobody's seen that. Um, the vice president's wife at the time got into regulating song lyrics, and Bushwick Bill was one of the reasons she began to do that. He released album art of himself bleeding on a gurney with a gunshot wound to the eye, and he helped put Houston on a global hip hop map. The 52-year-old rapper, born Richard Stephen Shaw, according to LA Times, died Sunday in Colorado, according to representatives for Bill who spoke to Associated Press. He had been diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. All right. That same cancer was the reason why Bill got into the studio again. He wanted to go ahead and get back on tour with the Ghetto Boys, but he backed up off of that because he felt that the people who was running the tour tried to capitalize off of Bill's cancer. You know, they tried to make it seem like it was his last run, which in hindsight, it ended up really being that. According to LA Times, man, the MC was one of hip hop's most colorful and charismatic figures, you know, whose lyricism in the group Ghetto Boys embodied the horror movie violence drawn from the life in Houston, Fifth Ward community, laid the underground groundwork for transgressive rap to come, man. You know, Bushwick was born in Kingston, Jamaica, you know, with a form of dwarfism. You know, he was roughly about 3 feet 8 inches standing up. After spending his early life in Bushwick neighborhood of Brooklyn, his family moved to Houston in the 80s, man. He initially joined the Ghetto Boys as a dancer. They used to call him Lil Billy. He wasn't Bushwick Bill yet. You know, they used to call him Lil Billy. And he was a real recognizable figure for the Ghetto Boys, even in their 1988 debut, Making Trouble. You understand what I'm saying? That was the first song that I think Bushwick was on. Um, the group revamped early because they had DJ Ready Red, Sir Rap-A-Lot. Sir Rap-A-Lot was Bushwick's brother, not Bushwick. Sir Rap-A-Lot was Jay Prince's brother. He went to jail. All right, Raheem wanted a solo career because it was Ready Red. I think Raheem, Sir Rap-A-Lot, which is the reason why they call it Rap-A-Lot Records. He went to jail. All right, and they revamped the group with MCs Willie D and Scarface and Bushwick Bill. You know, they gained notice in Houston, man. And we all know the Ghetto Boys at that time, man, they were the South's version of NWA. They was with it for the controversy. You understand what I'm saying? They was with it for the controversy. They came with the lifestyle of the 80s, the drug-ridden 80s, It hit every city. We all know this. We all know this. It hit every city. So what the Ghetto Boys did was put the street lifestyle of what's going on in Houston, Texas on record. So niggas from up north, on the east, and on the west, they were like, damn, nigga, I ain't know Texas was like that. We figured this shit was hay and horses, nigga. Nah, nigga, it was street shit. It was gangsters. It was coke, crack, dope, guns, murder. It was all that, man. And the first version, the first trip that we took to Texas was through the Ghetto Boys, man. We all know it. And in 1990, Bill told Spin magazine, it's okay for the president to start a war in Iraq, but it's not okay for me to talk about what I see around in my ghetto. And he was real about that. That's when Bush started that war in Iraq, trying to take over Kuwait for their oil. Let's not forget, Willie D, Scarface, and Bill was also revolutionaries in their own right. R.I.P. Bushwick Bill. Y'all stepped in some real shit with Rob Prophet. I'm gonna give y'all the real on Bill, man. The group had literary and cinematic streaks. You feel me? Where it was almost like movies when you listen to a Ghetto Boy album. It was almost a visionary type mindset that Scarface and Willie D painted when they wrote their rhymes and they wrote Bushwick rhymes. Bushwick ain't write his own rhymes. Bill always defended songs like Mind of a Lunatic with the explicit depictions of rape and violence as characteristic studies. You understand what I'm saying? It was what was going on. You can't write a rhyme about rape now. Can't do a song about rape then. Hip hop was so fresh and nobody understood where it was going around that time. To write a rhyme of Mind of a Lunatic, to write a song like that and to put it out at this moment, it'll squash your career or blow you the fuck up, man. Who knows in this era? Who knows in this era? But that Bill, the way Bill defended Mind of a Lunatic, he said, if people believe that the Ghetto Boys really do stuff like Mind of a Lunatic, they must also believe there's a Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers. He busted right in their fucking head with that. That was the difference between Bushwick Bill and everybody else. When you point out the hypocrisy of what's going on in the movies, the hypocrisy on television, and that's when a cracker is really dominating the money and the monetization of what we see. When we start to get a little bit of that monetization for doing the same things in music, it's something wrong with it now. You understand what I'm saying? So Bushwick was able to see that and was able to convey that to the masses. And that's where he was different. The group's 1991 album, We Can't Be Stopped, according to LA Times, is perhaps the most infamous album to date. The cover art featured Bill just after an altercation with a girlfriend where high on PCP, he was shot in the eye. The exact version of these events varied over the years. So what they saying is what really happened that day, nobody really knows. So many different versions was put out about what happened to that day. He got shot in the eye. We all know that, but we all know he did have an argument with his girl. We don't know how it happened, what happened, but we just know he got shot in the eye, and he did that was an exact picture, a real picture. That wasn't a made up picture that they had on We Can't Be Stopped. When you had Willie D on one side, Scarface on the other, and they was pushing Bushwick Bill on a stretcher, and it was just something different, man, that we never seen before. And the group had a lasting feud with Tipper Gore. Tipper Gore was the vice president's wife, Al Gore, at the time, because they was trying to go in on lyrics that the Ghetto Boys and NWA and 2 Live Crew, that's when they started putting the parental advisory signs on the albums, because Shorty really wanted to stop all that bullshit that was going on, that she said was bullshit, that we still think was art. Like we said, we seen it in the movies. Why we can't hear it coming from our people to really know what's going on in their sections. The Ghetto Boys, Scarf, Willie D, and R.I.P. Bushwick Bill, they paved the way for the likes of the UGKs, the Slim Thugs, the SUCs. We wouldn't see nothing coming out of Houston if it wasn't for my mom playing tricks on me and the Ghetto Boys, man. Dead at 52. R.I.P. Bushwick Bill. We love you. You done stepped in some real shit with Rob Prophet. Peace.